Hi everyone, today we're going to go through the X-in-a-Box modular electronics ecosystem. It is a collection of hardware that is ideally positioned for rapid hardware development. It has full Internet of Things and artificial intelligence capabilities, Microsoft accredited, and there's over 80 different sensors, cores, interfaces and outputs, bridges as well as power solutions that you can use. Simply click them together and we'll see that a little bit later in this video. You'll see also on the right-hand side that we have a number of projects using X-in-a-Box to support the Sustainable Development Goals. The primary reason for using modular electronics is to remove all barriers to participation. So what is in your kit? What you have is you have the modular electronics with multiple functions. As I mentioned, full Internet of Things capability, Microsoft and STEM.org accredited. We have experiments, lessons, and challenges linked to the UN Sustainable Development Goals that we're going to be going through over the next number of workshops. The kit that you have received is preloaded with Arduino code. It's been pre-configured for dashboards. In a further workshop, what we're going to do is we're going to go through how do we actually use that dashboard, some nice tricks and tools in terms of that. If you don't want to develop in Arduino code, you can also develop in Java, Python, C, C++, as well as make code. So what are the fundamentals of using modular electronics? Every circuit needs 4 types of X chip. The first is a core. In some cases, you'll have a CW01 or CW02. And what this is an X chip with a CPU. It has memory as well as a Wi-Fi connection. We have power, and that is actually any X chip that begins with the letter P. So you'll have battery modules, you'll have USB modules, etc. Sensors. These are also all the X chips that begin with the letter S. And in the picture here, we can see this little kit that was put together has an SL01, which is a light sensor, and an SW01, which is a weather sensor. Sensor, weather, 01. We also need to have an output, which means we can have the OD01, which is a little OLED screen. There's a picture of it in the photograph over there. And Wi-Fi is also a really, really effective output. So in this picture as well, we've included the MD01, which is for mechanical strength as well as redundancy. You can see here using these connectors that if one of the connectors is faulty, the communication channels and the power can go in an alternative way. And so the thing is that if we only had our chips connected in one long stripe, we wouldn't have that redundancy. So that is why we always try to put the kits together in a way that you've got a redundant connection, but you don't necessarily need to. If you want to put them together in a long stripe, you can certainly do so. And also what we have is, in this particular case, we also have a programming interface. In this case, the IP01. So this can be used for both power as well as for programming in multiple different languages. So how exactly do we put it together? The first rule is, what you'll see is that with the connector, there's a little tab, a tiny little tab between nodules 2 and 3, and that needs to link up with the little slot between tabs 2 and 3. So what you do is you link it up. The second rule is that you need to be able to read the code of the X chip. So you can see here, this is correct. We can read SL01 and we can read CW01. But in this case, one of the chips is actually the wrong way up. Unfortunately, it is able to connect, but the thing is we can't actually read the name of that chip. So therefore, it isn't connected correctly. All that will happen is that it just simply won't work. You won't burn anything. You won't power strip anything. It's not a problem. A good way of checking for a reason why your kit isn't working is just to make sure that everything is connected correctly. And so what we're going to do now is now we're going to go into our experiment. We're going to put our kit together and we're going to see, are we getting data displayed on our OLED screen? When we have that data showing, what we can do is we can actually go into our next session. So in preparation for the next step of getting your kit up and running, we have got a little quiz, an online quiz, which could be quite some fun to complete. But what we'd also really need you to do is to identify how you're going to be able to connect to your local Wi-Fi. So you will need your SSID, or otherwise your Wi-Fi network name, and you're also going to need the password. We cannot connect to networks that require a secure double sign-in. In other words, if it's got enterprise Wi-Fi, we won't be able to connect to that. So what you should be looking for is maybe a home Wi-Fi connection, perhaps a guest Wi-Fi connection, or even maybe you want to create a hotspot on your phone. So until next time, please have a lot of fun with your X in a Box kit.